18th Century Russia podcast. The 18th century in Russia saw much reform and many battles because of its leaders. 18th century Russia was dominated by the two greats, Peter, who created naval power, and Catherine, who continued Peter's changes and expanded Russia beyond its borders. The Tsar Peter the Great wanted more access to other regions such as the Baltic Sea and this was considered to be one of the beginnings of the Great Northern War. Even though Peter was allied with Denmark and Norway and Saxony to invade Sweden in the 1700s, they were defeated and later were invaded by Sweden by King Charles XII of Sweden because they were trying to capture Moscow. Even though they had much reinforcements, Peter the Great survived because of his naval power, and Russia got Swedish supplies in the Battle of Lesnia. Peter the Great evolved Russia in many ways. He reformed many things in Russia and was considered to revolutionize Russia. He reformed military things and created a Russian fleet. This led to industrial reforms to supply the armies, and also there were many reforms in education. For example, there were reforms in Russian education so they can teach math, science, and navigation so they would be ready to be in the army or to join the army when they were ready to. In 1708, the country was divided into governorates. These governorates were eight, and they were Moscow, Ingermanland with Shyzlberg, Kiev, Smolensk, Arkhangelsk, Kazan, Azov, and Siberian, with its center of Tobolsk. Each governorate had its governor and was divided into districts, and later many more governorates were created. Another reform that came was the hereditary system. This system had three types of service, such as the military, civil, and court services, and they were divided into 14 ranks. And this was a type of reform that depended on person's service and by allowing them to move up ranks um, regarding how they were born, even if it didn't apply to serfs. In 1711, Peter established the government body known as the Senate to rule the country while his Czar campaign was being in development. There were also reforms in religion. The Orthodox Church was included with Peter's reforms. In 1700, the Patriarch Adrian died, and Peter had a difficult relationship with Adrian and um, criticized Peter's plans of modernization, and this later led to Peter being against the Orthodox teaching and ultimately led to a change in how religion was carried in Russia because the Orthodox Church was so implemented that when Adrian died, and since Peter had disputes with him, he could not, he didn't believe in the teachings anymore because of Adrian's arguments with him. Um, because because of this, Peter was in no hurry to appoint a successor to Adrian, and the position remained vacant. Peter established in 1721 a council known as the Holy Synod, which performed the functions of the Patriarch. He also put limitations on young men joining monasteries because he wanted them to focus on the military and didn't want them to focus on anything else because he believed that the military was the soul of the country and believed that if the military was strong, then the country would be strong. So like if any battles would be to happen, then the country would be okay.